What's up, guys? This is Aaron with Lansing Lawn Service, and I am doing the Get to Know Me challenge that Fall River put out. Kevin from Fall River put out. I think it's pretty cool. I've seen a ton of the videos already. They're super interesting. It's really good to get to know you guys. So here's a little bit about me that you may not know. It was late in the evening and my mother was in a lot of pain and I was charging through. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to go back that far. So I grew up in Michigan. I grew up in a little town called Clarksville. It's got one blinking red light, so I mean it's very small. Yeah, nobody really knows it's there. My siblings and I looked on a atlas one time. It wasn't marked on the atlas, so yeah, it's small. It's somewhere between Lansing and Grand Rapids. I moved to Lansing about 5 years ago, and we recently moved last year to Potterville, Michigan. If you guys know anything about Potterville, our claim to fame here is one of our restaurants was featured on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. That was Joe's Gizzard City. If you guys have never had gizzards, I would encourage you to try them. Joe's gizzards are the best, okay? And I know how that sounds, but really, the gizzards at Joe's Gizzard City are the best you'll ever find. So if you're ever in the area, stop in, shoot me an email or a text. I would love to sit down with you at Joe's Gizzard City and pound down 10 or 20 gizzards. They're delicious. Let's see, what else can I tell you about myself? I am 36 years old. I love music. I have been into music since I could talk, pretty much. My parents were very musical. I was put into a community choir out of Grand Rapids when I was 12 or 13. We went on a bunch of tours throughout the United States. We went to Chicago for the first tour, and then we went to Minnesota and Minneapolis. We went to Washington, D.C. We sang at the National Holocaust Museum. We got to meet a Holocaust survivor. That was pretty sweet. If you guys ever get a chance to go to the National Holocaust Museum, I would recommend that you do that. Just make sure that you don't bring anything metal, no knives, anything. The security there is extremely high. You wouldn't believe it, but it is. It's very, very high. I was able to meet and perform with the choir with famous jazz musician Wynton Marsalis. Great guy, very interesting, very informative. Cool guy, cool cat. I worked in the construction industry for 10 years. I worked for a company here in Michigan called Michigan Dutch Barns. It's actually owned by a cousin. We basically worked in a factory setting building mini sheds. If you're ever in the market for a mini shed and you live in Michigan, look up Michigan Dutch Barns. They make the best quality mini barns you will find in the United States, and that's with all honesty. I know them in and out. If they sent me a package today to build one, I could do it from memory. They're excellent buildings, so please shoot some business their way if you're in the market for it. I worked in the Christian retail industry for 10 years. Specifically in the music department. I purchased, we'll just say music. I was called the music purchaser for the store. I got free tickets to concerts all the time, stuff like that. I'm very into music, so that's partly why I got the job in the first place. I worked there for 10 years and worked my way up from the bottom to store manager, and retail just wasn't for me. So I also worked at a hospital for 2.5 years, I think, something like that. 1.5 to 2.5 years, I don't remember. McLaren Greater Lansing, shout out to my laboratory people out there. A great group of people. Basically what I did is I went to school for 6 months, got training in phlebotomy. If you don't know what phlebotomy is, it's an incision of a vein. Okay, so basically I drew blood. But anyway, that's what phlebotomy means, if you really wanted to know the technical term. I did that for 2.5 years. I really liked the work, but it would just, my anxiety got kind of out of control when working at the hospital. Basically, I would get the shakes before I would go into work, and I just couldn't handle it anymore. For whatever reason, I've never had that bad anxiety before in my life, but for some reason, just the atmosphere of the hospital just did it to me, and so I wasn't able to continue there. But thankfully, I had started my lawn care business by then. I was just part-time, and then I moved into full-time, so it was wonderful. I loved the people that I worked with. I still stay in touch with a lot of them. They're very good people, very cool people, and I wish that I could have continued to work at the hospital, but the anxiety and stress were just too much for this guy. So much easier pace in lawn care, and I like it. Let's see, what else about me don't you know? I've been married for 11 years to my wife Renee. She is sick today, and so it's been kind of a rough day. As all you guys know, when your wife is sick, life gets just a little bit harder. I've got 2 boys, 7 and 1.5. Marcus is 7, Levi is 1.5, and they are great little boys. They are hilarious. They've been in a few videos. I try not to show them too much, but I also like to show them off because they're cute and I made them. So back to the music thing. I've been in little teeny tiny bands. I have been a worship leader in the past for a number of years. I've just been taking a break from that for the last several years now. But you know, it is what it is. I play guitar, bass, and drums. I play a Taylor acoustic guitar. I'm not, professional by any means, but I can get around a guitar okay. So that is one of my biggest hobbies that I have. I like to play Legos with my kids and listen to old records. I love listening to old records. Right now we've been listening to some 60s music, and that's pretty cool. It's cool. So, and Netflix. I love Netflix. Love movies and shows. So if you know of any interesting shows that are out there other than the popular mainstream ones that everyone knows about, let me know, okay? Because I want to know. I'd like to watch shows. Lately I've been into Andy Griffith, if you can believe that. But it was a good show, guys. If you watch, Andy Griffith's show, you're a cool cat, because it was an interesting show. That Barney Fife, man, he gets me every time. He is so stupid. I have a learning disability. I have ADD and a little bit of dyslexia. So not a lot of people thought that I was ever going to make anything of myself. And so in order to prove them wrong, I made something of myself. I've got an associate's degree in business. I had a 3.4 GPA, 3.49 GPA. I missed the graduating with honors by 1/10 of a point. The math just got me, so I was pretty disappointed about that, but you know what? It says something for me, so I was happy with it, and I'm glad that I did it. Not glad that I did the debt, glad that I did the schooling. That is about it for me, guys. When I'm not doing lawn care, that's about it. So with this challenge, I'm supposed to call out 3 other YouTube channels, and I would love to do that because there's a couple of guys that many of you know that haven't been called out yet, and I think it's ridiculous. So first, I'm calling out Rookie Nyler, or lawn care rookie for those that have been on YouTube for quite a while. I don't know why he hasn't been called out yet, but he is an awesome guy. He's just down to earth and he's a cool cat, guys. I was able to talk to him a little bit at the GIE Expo, and he's awesome, guys. So I'm calling Rookie out. Number 2, I'm calling out Brandon's Lawn Care. He's made some videos, but mostly I'm calling him out because he tends to go through and like every stinking video or comment on it that he can find in the lawn care community. Basically, he just wants to support the community, and I think that is awesome, and I want to know more about Brandon, so that's why I'm calling him out. And the last one, but certainly not least, one of my all-time favorite channels on YouTube, Johnny Moe. I am calling out Johnny Moe for the Get to Know Me Challenge. I've watched all his videos, so I pretty much know a lot about him, but I'd love to know a little bit more. So, Johnny Moe, I want to hear from you. Alright guys, that's me in a nutshell, and I'm ready to hear more about you guys. So, see ya!